taking a look at the wires of what's going on in Syria. As far as we can tell from activists, the news is not good. The latest from, as I say, human rights activists is that there's an intensified push on the part of Syrian security forces and the army to crush the uprising against the president. And so far today, they say 17 people have been killed, 18 people, including an 8-year-old boy. That's according to a human rights group. But as we have told you, first-hand accounts of what's going on in Syria are scarce. For the most part, foreign journalists have been kept out. Some are inside anonymously. Today, we have managed to reach a pro-democracy activist on the ground for a rare inside look. Alexander Page has been attending protests throughout the country since the uprising began. He lives in Damascus, and he joins me now on the phone. Alexander, this is the first time we have been able to hear from a protester firsthand. Why are you protesting? Why are you taking the chance, given what's going on?
Well, exactly what's happening is that we've been in silence for around 41 years in Syria. Due to the strong dictatorship that's been taking place. So people have had enough. They want freedom. They want the right to speak. People are taking to the streets. We just want our universal right to be able to choose who we want to lead us and how we're supposed to live without the brutal crackdown that's been taking place in Syria.
Why now? Because you have been living under this regime for years, for decades. Why now? Where did the bravery come from now?
Well, it's mainly due to the uprisings which have taken place in Tunisia and Egypt. But people have wanted to go to the streets long before that. But it was impossible because we couldn't even say the name of the president behind closed doors without being detained and beaten. And some people have been in prison for 10 years for saying anything they might say against the government. So people wanted to before, but it was really impossible. This was our chance, and people took the chance, and now they're in the streets.
What's your reaction to the Syrian government's response? We're seeing reports daily of people being killed. The reports being in total about 800 people being killed for protesting, 10,000 more in detention.
Those are the numbers that have been confirmed. But of course, there are many more. The reaction of the Syrian people just means it's making us more determined. We know we can't go back now because this is the place of no return. If we go back now, it's going to be worse than ever. People are being detained daily. There's at least where I live, just the other day, around 40 people were detained in the area just because they were online. Doing blogging online or taking part. So it's really very fragile, and people won't have it. They're still going down to the streets every day.
We're watching video. I want to tell the audience you're watching video that, Alexander, you captured of protests in the Damascus area. Are you afraid when you head out onto the streets to protest?
Yeah, definitely. Because when we do go down, we don't intend to die or be detained. We probably prefer to die than to be detained due to the brutal crackdown that they treat the detainees with. But what we try to do is we try to stay discreet. People who are filming would stand about 100 meters away from the protest. But that wouldn't always be the case because a lot of governmental thugs and secret police are in the area. Some actually taking part in the protests and then turning against the protesters. So, of course, we're always scared. Sometimes it leads that we can't take part in the actual protest.
Do you want outside intervention such that we saw in Libya, perhaps from NATO or some other organization to help you fight against the government?
I can say for myself, no. I can also say for the majority of the Syrian people, we would also not want that intervention because we've seen what's happened in Iraq. We've seen what's happened in Libya so far. We don't think that's going to be the solution for Syria, being a sensitive state in the Middle Eastern region. So we prefer that we just have some pressure against the Syrian regime. maybe a bit more than what's been done already, because what's been done so far is not enough. The international community hasn't offered anything that's going to do anything, because they're used to the sanctions. They've had those sanctions against them a long time, but not international intervention, no.
All right. Well, Syrian pro-democracy activist Alexander Page, thank you for joining me from Damascus Live and giving us your point of view of what's going on there. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.